This is my 2014 second gen Toyota Tacoma, and I'm going to show you how I have the entire thing built out and how I've been rigging it for the past couple years. Let's jump in. I've had this Tacoma since 2016 when I bought it used with about 20,000 miles on it, and it's been an awesome truck. I didn't start doing any build out to it until I had it fully paid off, even for a couple years. It's finally time to start really rigging it out and building it out. I'm not a huge off-roader. I do like to off-road. We go on trails like this pretty often out in the desert, but my big thing is really camping. I love taking it out with the family. I fit a whole family of 5 in here, and I'll try and show that maybe a little bit later. So this is not a rock crawler. It's not the most built out thing ever. There's a ton of rigs like that online. This is really just a rig that's gonna do great on some back roads, forest roads. So let's jump right into the wheels and tires. What we have here are the Falcon Wild Peaks AT. I feel like these are pretty much one of the standards for off-roaders today, and they've been awesome. I absolutely love them. They're a 33-inch tire. They do super well off-road. I think they're an E rating, so I can air them down really low to like 10 PSI, and they do awesome. I haven't had any issues or punctures with them. Never been stuck, so they're awesome. I'm gonna break down some of the pricing on each of the things as I go through it, because I love watching these videos, but a lot of times they don't talk about what the things cost. So if you want to build out your truck, just know it ends up being expensive, and it might piss off your significant other who's filming this video. Thanks, babe. And so let's talk about a couple of the prices here. So these tires are about $275 each, kind of depends on when you buy them. That definitely adds up. What I've got on here are the 17-inch Icon wheels. I really love this color. It's got kind of the fake beadlock look, and then this nice kind of silver brush kind of gunmetal look. Wheel and rim style constantly changes. A lot of people are going more with like kind of the brushed steel look now, where it's just like kind of almost more chromish. I still love the look of these Icons, and they've done great. And these each are about $285 a piece. Up front here for the suspension, I've upgraded to the Bilstein 5100s. It's just definitely an entry-level upgrade to your shocks over the stock. They work really well. I've really enjoyed them. It makes the ride a lot smoother when off-roading. I haven't even upgraded the coils yet. Eventually I will. But yeah, these do great. I think it was about $280 total for both of them. So that's the wheel and tire setup and front suspension. Pretty basic. Something that you need to know is as soon as you upgrade your wheels and tire and do a little bit of a lift, you're definitely going to drop in miles per gallon. Before I did any modifications to the truck, on average, I was getting between 17 to 18 miles per gallon. Since I've done all the modifications to the truck, I'm now averaging about 12 to 13 miles to the gallon. So a pretty significant drop of about 4 to 5 miles per gallon. And I think the largest part of that was the tires, because they're very heavy. So something to think about if you're going to go with these E rating that are a lot heavier. Now I'm doing something that's probably a cardinal sin in the off-roading world, but I don't care. I'm running different shocks in the back than I am in the front. These are the Fox 2.0 suspension. Now, a lot of times you want them all to be the same brand and the same type, because they perform better together and whatever. I haven't noticed any difference. I did have the Bilstein 5100s in the back, but they weren't quite long enough or powerful enough for this lift. We'll talk about that in just a sec. So I did end up switching to the Fox 2.0. So now they're a mismatch. These are just a basic shock. There's no piggyback or external reservoir or anything like that. And they definitely did feel better than the Bilstein 5100s that I was running before. And for the set of these two Fox 2.0 shocks, it was about $360. Okay, now let's look at the leaf pack. So I did an upgrade on this because I wanted to be able to have much more support for the camper shell on the back and be able to hold all of that weight continuously. It was starting to sag a lot. I think the leaf pack was pretty old. So this provides a 3-inch lift, and this is the Expedition 2.0 leaf pack from All Pro. And all in, it was about $1,000 for this. Now, what's awesome about this leaf pack is it has a constant load rating of 1,000 pounds. So it's obviously great for camper shell, rooftop tent, or even like a full camper shell setup like a Go Fast camper. This can definitely handle all that weight. Another thing that we added to this when we did this leaf pack was the U-bolt flip kit. So what it does is it flips around all of this so there's nothing hanging down here. So it gives you a little bit better ground clearance. So this is all flipped around now. And on the top, I also did a bump stop. These are like these super bumps. They help prevent you from bottoming out as easy. Can't remember the exact price on them. I'll put them on screen. I think they're around 80 bucks or something. I removed the spare tire. That's why the chain is just hanging here. Spare tire's gone. I'll show you where the tire is now. Whew, I didn't know how much I was gonna be crawling under my truck today. Okay, so one other thing we had to do when we added the 3-inch lift is put on some extended brake lines because the OEM ones would be too short if you droop out and possibly break. That'd also be really dangerous. So I ordered these from Yoda Mafia and they're about $100. So really simple, and it definitely makes things much more safe and secure. All right, so we've covered all the suspension and what's happening underneath the truck. Let's take a look at the back now. This is definitely one of my favorite parts of the truck and something I spent a lot of time to get looking the way that I want. So what we have here is a Fab Fours rear steel bumper. Let me get this thing opened up so I can show you what it looks like, and then I'll break down the rest. So a little handle there, obviously, and just swings open. So here's the steel bumper. This thing's extremely solid. It has little D-rings here on the back, so you could do recoveries, of course. And this rear swing out arm is fully optional. So you can actually buy this without this. This whole bracket and piece is an add-on. So if you just want a really solid steel bumper, this bad boy definitely does the trick. It has spots, of course, for the license plate lights. So something I really wanted and needed for this build now that we added the 33-inch tires was a place to put a full-size spare, because I didn't want to run the little ones and then have to just put on a tire that didn't actually match the rest of them when I'm off-roading. So now I can carry a full-size spare, and we've got this tire carrier. Now, what's great about the Fab Fours setup is it's definitely one of the most affordable ones on the market. All in, the bumper and the rear tire carrier was about $1,800, which honestly is a fraction of the cost of many of the other ones out on the market today that are in the $3,000 to $4,000. So when I found this, I was like, this is awesome. I haven't seen many people run this. So if you're looking for a setup like this, it's definitely worth it. On the tire carrier, there's a couple different positions that you can mount this in. You just can move these bolts so you can actually get the entire tire higher if you want, or lower. Now I need to actually tighten up one of these bolts on here because it's a little bit loose. There's a little bit of play in it, but it's been super solid, no issues with it, off-roading and just, you know, bumping the death out of it on washboard roads and rocks and things like that. It's held up really well. Super solid. There is a mounting spot right here where you can put like a CB antenna or any other radio antenna. That's what this little mount spot is for here. To close it up is really easy. There's a little pin here. You just pull down on that, it releases, and then this whole thing, I'll show you how this whole handle locks up. So just put this on, push this in, and then there's a little safety pin here to keep the entire thing nice and secure. It's absolutely not going anywhere when you're going down the road, highway speeds. It's awesome. Obviously we have the Icon full-size spare here, but let's look at how I have these water jugs mounted on the side. So I kind of have a love-hate relationship with Rotopax. I think they look really great. They're just super solid product for the most part, but I did have a few issues and I'll talk about in a second. The first thing is I have a water 2-gallon and a gasoline 2-gallon. These are their Gen 2. They work great. They hold liquids like they should. No issues there. Let's come around and look at how this mounts here. They have a deluxe mount and a lock mount. This was the lock mount, but I had to drill it out. Spent a few hours drilling that out because it seized up and basically rusted when water got inside. That was really frustrating. Rotopax did send me out a new lock, but honestly, I don't lock it anymore because I found no one really bothers with it. But you know, if you've seen Rotopax, you know how these work. It's really basic. Unscrew this, and then you can slide off these things. So it's really nice to be able to quickly get to the gasoline. And what I've done here is I'm using Rotopax's like kind of double mount, so you can stack 2 of them. This little piece right here makes it possible to stack 2 of them. Otherwise, you'd normally only be able to add 1. But I wanted to do both on one side because honestly, aesthetically, I think it looks a lot nicer to have both of the jugs together instead of one on each side of the tire. The setup for the 2 Rotopax and the mounting was about $265. So the way that the Rotopax are attached here is of course on the tire, and that's using this Easy Rack from Rock Slide. Now the kit actually comes with 2 of these metal brackets you can see here that wrap around the kind of contour to the tire. So you could put one on the left side, and you could also put one on the right side. I've opted not to add it. I think in the future I might add it and then put a propane tank over here. But for right now, I'm just having 2 on this side. Now this little kit also comes with the ratchet strap so that you can tighten it down onto your tire. And that whole thing, that whole system is about $130. Now let's take a look at the camper shell. So I really love this thing. I know there's a lot of mixed feelings about camper shells. Some people say, why not just get an SUV? I really like to have a covered spot to put gear. If there's rain and weather, I can just dump it all in there and not worry about it. I can also lock all of it. It's all locking, so my gear is protected. I do filmmaking, camera stuff, so it's nice to be able to put expensive gear in here and lock it down when I need to. So the camper shell is from ARE. I don't know the exact model number. I'll look it up and put it on the screen if I can find it, but it's specifically for the short bed. So I have the 5-foot short bed and second generation, so it's definitely built to fit that. Of course, it's paint matched. I love this. It's really nice. It makes it look much more OEM having it paint matched like that. Now, a big thing about this, when I was looking for these, I wanted one specifically that had the wind doors. So this is awesome. You just throw it open like that, and then you can get gear in and out nice and easily, and you don't have to crawl in the back tailgate to get to all of your equipment. And of course, these doors are also on the other side as well. Then of course you have the window hatch in the back that you open up. So that makes it really nice to access all of your equipment. There's no crossbar or little window that opens or closes here. You got to slide. So much better way. If you're going to get a camper shell, you definitely want one with wind doors. Now, I picked this up online used on Facebook Marketplace, and to get the exact one that you need that's paint matched and local in your area can be pretty hard to do. It took me a long time to find one. I think I had my eye on the marketplace for like almost a year. This one popped up and I bought it for about $1,100 used. So I'll open it up, show the inside. You've all seen the inside of a camper shell before. It's not that exciting, but so there you go, come on in. And the whole thing is carpeted, which is nice because it makes it easy to mount things. I have little pieces of Velcro that I'll use from time to mount things inside of here when I need to do it quickly, like LED lights or whatever it is. Right now, the bed is not built out. It's empty. It's really nice to have just fully empty and available to me so I can throw whatever camping gear I need to in there or actually use my truck like a truck when I need to. Okay, so let's take a look at the top of my truck here. Right here, I have a Prinsu roof rack. I'd say this is probably one of the most popular racks on the market, especially for a Tacoma. And I've really been loving it. Simple rack, really solid. You saw me standing on it at the top of the video. So on the front, we have, of course, the wind deflector. And I opted for the option that has the 40-inch cutout for a light bar. And the Printer roof rack right now online is about $700. I've mounted all kinds of things to it. I used to have a Pelican rifle case up here and had equipment in it. I've mounted kayaks on top with, different kayak mounts. I've had the roto packs up here previously, but I took them off and moved them onto the tire carrier. Right now, there's nothing mounted on top of it, but it's always available when I need to just kind of be modular and put different things on it. So let's take a closer look at the light bar here. So I picked this one up on Amazon. It's just some cheap, no-name Chinese brand or something. It's about $85. I think it's probably one of the cheapest things on the truck, but it's super powerful despite being really cheap. I think it's about 20 or 40,000 lumens, and it just absolutely lights up the trail and the forest. I love it, and it's really slim. It's only 1 inch, and it keeps it really nice and slim, and it's not one of those huge ones where it's just gonna cause all this wind noise. So I've really been liking it. No issues. For the price, it's an absolute steal. Continuing on with things that are actually mounted to the Printer roof rack, I've got this little shovel. It's really simple, basic. It's not great for actually like digging things out and doing a recovery, but it's really awesome for digging out fire pits or, when you got to do your business out in the woods. It works great for that. And my kids love to play with it. They always fight over it. So really basic, but how I have it mounted here is with these little quick fist mounts, and they're just simple rubber. They just kind of ratchet down like that and hold in place. They do really, really great. I got them on Amazon for super cheap. I think it was about $15 for a set of 2. And I used to even mount a fire extinguisher on the side with much larger mounts from them, and it did great as well. And the nice thing about them is they don't rattle or make any noise or anything like that when you're going down the road because it's rubber. So it's kind of like its own little isolator. I don't hear any noise or anything at highway speeds. And yeah, they do a great job. All right, let's take a look at these ditch lights in the front. So on both sides, I have the Diode Dynamics SS3s. And these things are really great. Of course, they're in amber, and they have a daylight running mode where it's just kind of an LED backlight. Power these things up and they're super bright. I've got them pointed out to either side to kind of light up the sides of the ditch so you could see deer if you're driving on the highway. Of course, you don't really want to be driving with these on. I don't think it's legal. So more of if you're in the backwoods and you don't want to see deer or something, you can power these up. Yeah, they do awesome. They're on these little Cali raised mounts, and the Cali raised mounts I think were about 50 bucks, and the Diodynamics with the wire harness were about $240. Honestly, these are an absolute steal when it comes to ditch lights. There's a lot out there that are much more expensive, but these things are super powerful, and I really like the size. I've seen some people go with some kind of jumbo ones, but I think it takes away from your truck a lot. I like to have them a little bit more minimal. One other quick little upgrade is I took off the OEM antenna and opted for this little short rubber one. It's like 6 inches. Picked this up on Amazon. I can't remember the exact price, but it's pretty affordable. I'll link it down below. This thing is awesome. And that way, when you're going through the woods, you're not always scraping on large tree branches and things with the big, you know, metal wire one. All right, for the front grille here, I of course had to do the TRD Pro grill. I know it's kind of cliche. Everyone, you know, is like, oh, to the TRD Pro grill, but you know what? I love the look of it. It looks a lot better than the OEM one. So I opted for this. I got it on Yodaverse, and I think it was about $260 with the 4 amber lights, the kind of Raptor light. The grill itself I have found to be really nice, really high quality, but the Raptor lights themselves actually they're kind of cheap. 2 of them aren't working anymore. You can actually see a little bit of moisture inside of them. So I don't know, the seal on them broke, and so they're not working anymore. I'll just have to replace these, but they're pretty cheap to just get a new little strip of those lights. Now, the truck build is definitely not done. There's a lot of things I'd like to do to it still, but one main thing here is this is all still that really shiny chrome, trying to kind of do the chrome delete on the truck. So eventually I'm going to actually black plasti dip this whole thing. Just haven't got around to it yet. Okay, let's take a look at the headlight upgrade I did. Now, this was a pretty big one in the overall look of the front end. My old ones, I'll see if I can find a picture, were just getting really bad, like, I don't know what it's called, but like the calcium buildup on it. They were getting really yellow and just super ugly. So I opted for these. These were from Extreme Terrain. There's not any specific like brand to them, but they're about $450 from Extreme Terrain. They do have this nice LED accent light. I really love the look of them, especially for the price. The only thing I'll say is they're not the brightest ever. I think my OEM ones were a bit brighter, but they definitely do the trick and they look nice. All right, now let's talk about the absolute eyesore of my truck right now. The hood, the paint is just completely gone. Toyota, your clear coats suck. They even suck on newer trucks. I just don't know why. They're so bad. And you can actually see like all the spray lines. So this is completely oxidizing. I've talked to a couple different companies. They've said they can kind of buff it out and then re-clear coat it. If that's true and you think that's possible, comment below, let me know. I've heard kind of mixed things. I've talked to a paint shop guy and he said, you got to repaint it. That's definitely in the works. The roof is also going as well. There's just a couple spots. The paint, or the clear coat at least, is starting to go. So something I've got to address because I love the truck. I put so much into it. I've got to get this looking good again. Okay, another thing that's an eyesore in the truck right now is this front bumper. So I got into a little fender bender almost 2 years ago and I still need to fix it. I actually bought a really nice C4 hybrid front bumper, and it has like a mid-height bull height bar on it, and I've done the powder coat on it. It's just been sitting in my garage for like 2 years. I actually need to mount it. So that'll replace all this entire front end. It won't have any of this plastic anymore or any of these kind of bent pieces. It's all gonna go and it's gonna look really good. I just need to actually take the time to do the install. Kind of been hesitating because there are some permanent cuts you have to do when you mount it. So stay tuned for that. We'll put the C4 bumper on. And the C4 bumper that I bought was about $1,500 and it was $300 to powder coat it. Another really simple thing that I did a few years ago is, of course, part of the chrome delete, I did a simple black plasti dip on these. Again, because of the Arizona heat, they're starting to go a little bit, and I've got a little nick right there from probably a rock or something. So I'll probably need to do a new plasti dip on them, but it's really cheap. It was just that rattle can. And I think it was maybe 10 bucks or something to do these. And of course, got to have the flag on there because America. All right, let's pop the hood and take a look underneath. I haven't done much to it, honestly. The performance is good enough for me. I know a lot of guys add turbos and other crazy things. Mine's really basic. What we're looking at here is actually the compressor that I've added. So this is from ARB, and it's just a single kind of volume compressor. I know a lot of guys do the twin. I didn't find that necessary. I think it does pump up a little bit quicker if you do a twin, but it's a lot bigger and you usually have to mount it somewhere else, like on that side where there's a little more space. But this tucks in nicely here. And on the other side, there's actually 2 little spots where I found that I could just bolt right into the frame inside here in the bay. So that works really good. And then I Velcroed the little power switch here on the side. It's just really simple and everything goes right into the fuse box and into the battery. It's all really simple, really tight, compact. So let me grab the hose for this. I got the little pump up tire kit here, and this works great. Just pop it in like that, and then you could put this on your Schrader valves and pump each of them up. I don't have like the 4 kit where you can pump all 4 of them at once. I'm okay, I'm patient, I can just pump each of them individually, but really, really good compressor. It's been in here, no issues, and been working great in the heat for years. Even when I've had a flat tire before, I just pumped it back up and drove home, and then I pumped it back up and drove to the tire shop. So if you have a slow leak, it's really nice to have onboard air because it can kind of save you in a lot of spots where you don't have to do a tire change. So this ARB compressor with the tire inflator kit was about $400. All right, let's take a look inside the truck. I haven't done much interior mods, but the main thing here is this display. So what we have here is a 13-inch display. I'll link it down below on Amazon. It's from a Chinese company. It doesn't have like a really popular brand name or anything to it, but I absolutely love it. It's made working in the truck and driving in the truck so much better. What I like about it is it makes it look so much more like a 4th gen Tacoma because they've got the 14-inch display. This one's 13-inch. Now, one of the best parts, of course, is the fact that it supports Apple CarPlay. That's a huge update, especially for a 2014 Tacoma, being able to just pull up my maps, go through music. I've got all the apps on here. So you can, of course, add apps from your phone for off-roading maps like Gaia and OnX Off-Road. And I haven't seen many other displays like this for the 2nd gen, so it's really, really nice to have. It was a pretty easy upgrade to do, and on Amazon right now, it's about $600. Okay, one of the only other interior mods I've done is to the windows. So you can see now I have got the 4 switches here that are all auto up and auto down. Normally you only have auto down or auto up on the Tacoma just for the driver's side. So it's really nice to have it on all 4. And I also have it on the passenger side as well. It now has auto up and auto down. So that's really nice, of course, to be able to hands-free just open them all up or close them all down. Of course, this is kind of a small creature comfort, but I like it, and it was only about $100. I found these on eBay, again, from some random Chinese brand, but they work really well. Now, as any truck enthusiast or outdoor guy knows, the rig is always changing, the build is always changing. There are some things I'd like to do in the future, maybe going to like a GFC style camper. We'll see. Couple other things kind of in the works, so stay tuned. I have all of the different parts and products linked below. If you want to see more Tacoma and outdoor related content like this, hit subscribe right now. I want to get this channel to 1,000 subscribers, and I'll see you in the next video.